me get in here and, whoops, there we go. Boom, there we are. All right, get these guys in here. How you doing this morning? Can you guys hear me okay?
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Light
Yes.
Time to write a deep voice song early in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
Yeah.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Jenny Leah Brown, not to be confused with Jenny Lee Brown. Her mama had to be a little different, and it's a beautiful name. And Roger Silvi is joining us this morning. How you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Man.
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah, so...
Greetings from the Keys.
Yeah, you're down there. Now, the marathon is going on down in Key West right now. Does it come up the Keys?
I'm not sure how far up it goes. I'm 80 miles from Key West. I'm in Islamorada. So
Okay.
I don't know if it makes it this far.
Yeah, Islamorada. I love Islamorada. My favorite
You
place.
look like you should be down here with me, Danny.
Well, we spend a great deal of time down there. We've got DJs in Key West, and we got a lot of sponsors down in Key West, and so Key West is very near and dear to our heart. But Chattanooga, Harrison Bay, we live on the lake outside of Chattanooga, and it's kind of a really central hub for most people going from anywhere to Nashville or Birmingham, Atlanta, Knoxville. So we're kind of centrally located. So we have a tremendous amount of musicians and artists that travel through here. So it works out really well.
That's
Do
nice.
they still have the choo-choo there, Danny?
Yeah, they do. The Chattanooga Choo Choo, and they've rebranded it and refurbished it, and it kind of went into disarray there for a little while, but they've revived it, and
It's got dining cars and all that stuff
dining
in there now.
cars and all
You
kinds of
can
stuff.
actually spend the night in it.
Yeah. Years ago, I spent a New Year's Eve in one of them. So,
They
it's
locked
kinda
you
cool.
up. That's right. I forgot.
yeah,
about
they locked me up. Yeah. They're like, put him in the caboose and don't let him out. Yeah, it was kind of like that. But so you guys tell us, introduce you to everybody's listening around the world on YouTube and on the radio, and tell us a little bit about you guys.
Start it out, Jenny. Ladies first.
Oh, well, thank you, Roger. Hi, my name's Jenny Lee Brown, and I lived in the Keys for 4 years. I just moved back to Central Florida to be with my family, and I've been into music for years. I grew up in Nashville, and I became a music teacher right out of college, and then I ended up going into I work with children with autism now, and I get to use music in my classroom, and I've just always been an avid songwriter, and I've had the privilege of, in the last few years, really having the opportunity to do a lot more with trop rock. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah, that's really cool. And now, are you guys familiar with Mac Meadows? He lives down in Key Largo. He's a teacher. He used to teach music to his students a lot of the times. And I always think that's cool whenever you can do something you're very passionate, because you have to be passionate about teaching in order to do it. And your music side of you as well, bringing those two together, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. I work with students that are nonverbal, and even though they can't necessarily speak, music seems to be the way that they can really communicate very well. So it's really nice to have that in my classroom and to be able to see it really in action.
Yeah.
We get to see that at Panama City with,
I was going to say, we do this will be our 9th year broadcasting for the Panama City Rendezvous. And last year it was...
the last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Their charity is a school it's an art school for children with autism. So they do various kinds of arts, and the kids get on stage, they perform.
Oh, yeah.
And then they also sell off the art that they make, and it's a big deal. And then that's what they do to raise the money, is for that school there in Panama City.
Yeah, it's very cool to see them on stage. And when we're set up, we're right by the stage. We have a big tent, and we're hooked into the stage. And so we can kind of see them behind the scenes a little bit when they're on stage. It's very cool to see them. Bring that passion that they've learned, through the teachers that are doing it on stage. It's very cool in front of that whole crazy crowd of parrot heads,
Yeah, it's very rewarding. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah. What about you, Roger?
Well, I come from, Detroit, rich musical background there. I mean, great place to grow up there during the time I did, and even now for that matter. And was exposed to, starting with Motown and all the great musicians in the area, and performed, learned a lot, played a lot, and now bring that down. I still have a summer home in Michigan, which I look forward to. I love the summers there in Michigan.
Sure.
But, here in the Keys for the rest of the time, for the most part, when we're not doing a Parrot Head tour together, Jenny and I and other people as well. And guys, that's a lot of fun. Yeah. And different locations. Last few years it was in down here in the Keys, and then this past year was in Orange Beach, Alabama, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Yeah, meeting the minds.
We can talk a little more about that, but that was fun. But anyway, I was exposed to and had access to a lot, like I say, a lot of great musicians, and still do. And anyway, but I bring that down to the Keys now and perform and do my my trop rock show.
Yeah.
And it's rewarding, and it's kind of easy to do, I suppose, in the sense that for the most part, I'm playing to people that are on vacation.
Yeah.
And they're here for a good time. They want to have happy songs about toes in the water and palm trees and sitting in the sand, so on and so forth there. Sure. And it's a good place to be, that's for sure.
Yeah, and when you're in Key West, you've got a lot of independent artists that are playing around the bars, Two Friends cafes, and all this, and they're not necessarily playing trop rock type music, but when you get off when you're in Key West, it's kind of like we have a thing called the Tiki Man Radio Escape to Paradise, and every year we go to a different island. And the first year we went to Jamaica, last year was Mexico, and we're going to Dominican Republic this year. And when we go to these islands, I kind of want to hear Jamaican style music. I kind of want to hear,
Right,
so
right.
It's kind of like if I go into a Chinese restaurant or whatever, I want to hear Chinese music. Same thing in a Mexican restaurant.
That's the way I approach it too.
Yeah.
And I figure they can hear what they hear back home anytime they're home, but I want to give them my interpretation of what the music is down here. And then play into that, just like you said. If I go to Hawaii, I want to hear Hawaiian music. Right? I mean, same thing. Nice.
Our good buddy Chris Bellamy plays a lot down at the Lorelei, and
sure, right.
Yeah, and I was talking to him.
Close to me, yeah.
I was talking to him this week. He's getting to where he spends a lot more time down. They actually moved out of North Carolina because the damn hurricanes kept hitting Wilmington, where he used to live at, and so he moved down into Florida a little bit. Like you're not necessarily out of danger, but Wilmington sticks out there like, come on up here, hurricane, and it seems like
it does. It does.
It's one hurricane after another, but he has a lot of fun down there in those same areas. And we're doing a thing for our showcase this year where we're going to have a we're not calling it a caravan. We're calling it convoy to the Keys, because I always encourage people, if they're going to Key West, they need to drive down Highway 1. Be careful; it's a dangerous highway. But if you've never island hopped your way down to Key West, you're really missing out on what the Keys are all about. Mm-hmm. So we're putting that together for next year or this year for the showcase, and going to start out. One of my favorite places is Sunset Cove there in Key Largo. And it's one of those old hotels, that has the individual buildings, and, they got something right out of the 70s, they got like the dinosaur things and all this stuff, kind of like when you used to see as a kid as traveling around. And so we're going to start there and island hop our way all the way down.
Danny, I'm glad you said that, because when I tell people, they say, well, we're in Florida area. I say in the Keys. Almost invariably, people say, "Oh, I love Key West," and they think that the Keys is Key West. There's a lot more to it than just Key West. Doing that convoy, you're going through the Key Largo, Tavernier, Isla Morada Marathon, so on and so forth there. Yeah. And there's the whole lot more to the Keys than just Key West. And I love Key West, but
every part of the Keys really has its own personality.
It does.
So it's nice.
Kind of like Hawaii.
Yeah.
There's more than just one spot.
Yeah, a lot of people think
just Waikiki.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Even though that's nice, but the Keys. If a lot of people, and it's always amazing to me how many people are discovering the Keys for the very first time or whatever, and so they fly in, and they miss out on so much of that. I just had a new book come out, and I actually wrote a chapter about the wooden spoon down there. It's one of my favorite places to eat breakfast on my way down to the Keys. But we're encouraging people that's never done it, or even if they have, because you got to go in. You got to fly into Miami is what we're saying, but you can fly into anywhere. Get a convertible. We need a convertible, all right?
Oh, yeah.
And
a Mustang's not bad, too.
There you go. Sure. Put the top down.
Mustang convertible. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, take a couple of days and really hit those hot spots all the way down.
And you got to hit Robbie's.
Oh, you got to go to Robbie's, yes. Yeah, you got to do all that. So, But so how did you guys stumble across Trop Rock?
Well, just from being down here myself,
yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of the Jimmy Buffett influence, I suppose, and many others. But like I said before, to me, it very clearly states, I think, what the music is about down here. If you want to say, what's the music down here? It's a trop rock, and that kind of describes it. What do you think, Jenny?
I was traditionally a country music writer until I moved to the Keys, and I mean, we were surrounded by water. I mean, everything was about the sand, and everything was about the water. And I moved there right before the pandemic hit, and so of course everything was about drinking. And I was like, "Oh, I'm in. I can do this."
Right.
But it's just I love that laid back feel, and obviously there are a lot of other people that do too. So I've been very blessed by the trop rock crew.
Well, we always encourage people, even when they're in Key West, to we call it. Once you get off, you get off of Duval Street after you've done that and you've had a lot of fun. Walk around the island, because for me, the Key West is about the people and walking around the island. And I love the Key West Cemetery and all that stuff. So we try to get people. And of course, we were playing some videos earlier from GTS Charters, which is one of our sponsors down there. Get off a bar stool and get on another bar, a sand bar. You got to get out in the water of the Keys. Yeah. And if you're not experiencing all that, you're really missing out on a lot of things. So we're continuously trying to educate people about the Keys.
Go fishing, go snorkeling. There's a lot more to do than just the Duval Street, yeah.
And the sunsets are incredible no matter where you are.
Oh, my God, yeah. And Flaz here in the studio with me is a big fisherman, and I've been telling him for as long as I've known him that Islamorada is the fishing capital, and that's where you need to go if you really want to go do some fishing.
I think it's sailfish they have down there, right?
You can get some sailfish out there.
They had a tournament last week in this area there, and I talked to one of the guys at the bait shop, and he said that the tournament got 150 or 160 in one day sailfish.
Wow. Right, that's what I thought.
That's the tournament.
Right.
Now they catch and release, so it's not keeping them there. But that's what's happening right now. And Key West is real big with their tournaments as well for sailfish this time of year.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course.
Great place to be.
In Key West, it could be National Potato Week or something, and they'll have a parade. So, anything to get out and have. So how did you two guys get hooked up together?
Go ahead, Roger.
Well, pretty much from the Parrot Head tour. I had known about Jenny before I first met her there, because I know her husband. And he said, "Oh, you got to meet Jenny there. She's my wife. She's a singer-songwriter kind of thing there." And anyway, our paths did cross then down here in the Keys as part of the Parrot Head tour a few years ago there, and that I had mentioned. And we were not on the stage together, but we got to know each other because we're part of the musicians group there. And last year, Jenny and I said, let's do a song together. And she says, let's do a duet. I said, well, that's even better.
Yeah.
And so we kicked around some ideas, and from those idea sessions, if you want to call it there, we put together Drinking About You again. And gosh, we have fun with that. And it's still fun. So anyway.
Well, good. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and play the song, all right? Sure. We'll put you guys back in the green room here, and we'll unfortunately, there's no drinks in the green room, Jenny. But anyway, we'll put you back in there. We'll play the song, and we'll come back and talk a little more about it, okay?
Very good. Thanks.
All right, here we go. Drinking About You Again. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It's like we've all done that at some point in time or another, but here we go.
Listen to the story.
Yeah.
Another night at Reefer's Tiki Bar, sipping margaritas from a mason jar. Although it might sound strange, it's only because it's a little head start on a tropical buzz. I have my same old seat, and if she's around, I might make my move or stay right down. Why not take a chance? Cast my fate to the wind instead of just sitting here drinking about her again.
It's taken so long. How hard can it be for you to walk on over and say hello to me? I'm all dolled up, feeling mighty fine, hoping you might notice and give me some time. I've seen you before, looking over my way. Think I'd like to meet you, come and make my day. We could share a story, or maybe 10, instead of just sitting here drinking about you again.
You got me drinking about you again. Let's get together, let the good times begin. Instead of sitting here wondering what to do, let's do something about it, make it me and you. I've made up my mind, gonna give it a try. She looks too good for me to let it slide. I wonder if she's seen me looking out her way. I hope I can find the right things to say.
Is he coming over to maybe say hi? Or will he keep on walking and pass me by? We could start with a drink, that would be nice, to get it going and break the ice.
You got me drinking about you again. Let's get together, let the good times begin. Instead of sitting here wondering what to do, let's do something about it, make it me and you. Goes nothing. Let's see how I do. Can I buy you a drink and sit down with you?
I can't believe it. He came my way to say hello. Maybe he'll stay.
She's so pretty up close. What a beautiful smile. Should have done this sooner. I might stay a while.
It finally happened. Look what I found. It's fine with me if he sticks around.
No more drinking about you again. Just chilling together as island friends. No more drinking about you again. We'll have our own little party, let the good times begin. Our own little party, let the good times begin. We'll have our own little party, let the good times begin.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That's a fun song.
That is a fun song. And Roger and I was talking yesterday that, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I can't remember now, but I love the horns in any song. You know, of course, him being in up in the Detroit way, you got to have, you know, all that.
Got to have the horns.
You got to have the horns, man. You got to have the horns. So it's very cool. Very cool. It sounds great. Came together really nice. Who wrote the song? Did both of you?
It was kind of together, I guess. I mean, I got all the music together, wrote the horn parts, and one note by one note, you know, kind of tedious, but that's how you get it done properly. And then went into the studio and had the great pleasure of bringing Jenny up from Tampa area to Detroit, and she recorded her vocals in the studio that I use for my recording. And we had a great session, and she did her job, and you heard the results. It sounds great. And we're very pleased with it. But that was it was kind of an involved session. I mean, it was more than just that one day, obviously, but there was quite a bit that went into it there. But it's the results that matter, and I'm pleased with it. And people seem to like it.
So it turned out very nice, very nice.
And I'd like to add that we premiered this song together acoustically. There was no horns or anything, just me on the guitar and Jenny vocals and me vocals at the Parrot Head tour in Orange Beach, Alabama, at the Live Bait. And then we continued to play it all week, and it kept getting stronger as we went. But it's nice to hear it in the full specter of the song with the horns and whatever there. But we've had fun with it.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys ever attend Meeting of the Minds when it was in the Keys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a big deal for them to pull it out of the Keys after being there for 30 years, and we were like I said, we were having our 7th year last year, and then whenever they announced right before Meeting of the Minds that they were going to be going to Gulf Shores. We said, hey, we're going to be right back here, and we had this is probably our best year we ever had. So a lot of people, and we kind of felt that way. We felt that the people that loved Key West, and the way the dates were, you could go down to Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Florida, Alabama, whatever, and see who you want to see, and then head on down to the Keys. Because a lot of people, since Meeting of the Minds had been there for 30 years, had standing reservations,
Sure.
Yeah.
So they came down, and it was just a fantastic week. And we had 46 artists, I believe, that played on stage. It was fantastic. And we're gearing up for our 8th year this year. And they're going to be back in Gulf Shores. And I guess they're going to stay there for a while.
Well, I'd like to say that for personal reasons, just because I have a place down here. Yeah. When they moved it to Gulf Shores, I thought, oh boy, now I gotta make different arrangements, and I don't have my place to stay, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but I had a blast, and the people we met there, Jenny and I, and others as well. It was so much fun, and the reception from the Parrot Head clubs, plural, that participated and came in by the busload. Right?
Yeah.
And it was very well received. And I had so much fun that I am looking forward very much to being back this year.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a test for not only them. It was a big test for them as much as it was for us to continue with our festival. But because we were so used to having it together, and it really was like a reunion every year. When we all went down to the Keys, and for new artists that came along that we would interview or we would play their music, we always told them, you got to go to Key West, you got to go to Meeting of the Minds, because it's kind of like a meet and greet. You start putting these faces with the names, and you meet these people, and that's going to lead to other things, other places to play, the people to play with, and all that stuff. And and it was always an important thing for us to elaborate on that.
You use the term reunion, and I think that's well put, because that's kind of how I view it. It's good to see the people that we perform with there, and other people that are on your station as well, and the Trop Rock performers. And to just hang out with them all week, and they're hanging out with you. We're all there for the same purpose. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun, and I really look forward to it.
Yeah, it was really neat. I really enjoyed seeing people that I hadn't seen in, a year.
Yeah.
Even like the Texas crew came over,
Oh, yeah. There were a whole
and it was,
of them.
and like you said, it very much is like a reunion. It was really, people just running and giving you a hug. Oh my gosh, how are you? And it was just, it was cool. I love it. I absolutely love this.
And I think, I always like to say, for everything you win, you lose something, and what you're winning is you got to weigh that for what you're losing, and maybe it's a good thing. And I think what ended up happening, having it in having our event in Key West, having them in Gulf Shores, people got to spend a little more time where, whichever event they were at, because they didn't have to go to 500 other places, and rush over here and rush over there and all that stuff. And we really, it really all worked out really well. So for both of us, for them and us. And, we kind of jokingly say, we hate that our event got so big they had to move out of Keys, but it is what it is, But
the price of success, Danny. What can we say?
I know. We hate that, but it really is. We call our station Coastal Americana. When I launched the radio station years ago, we started out as your trop rock paradise. And from a marketing standpoint, we had a real challenge, because people didn't know what trop rock was. You always got to explain, well, what the hell is trop rock? Well, and people always kind of say, well, it's kind of like Jimmy Buffett. Well, not everybody liked Jimmy Buffett, and if they did, they only knew a couple of songs, from a marketing standpoint. And what we found by going to Coastal Americana is that we might get a country song from Jenny Leah Brown, as opposed to just one about a margarita on the beach, and it opened that window, and it's a more broader umbrella as well. B-Dog here in the studio's got a show on Wednesday, Tropical Country, and I'm sure he's digging to say, hey, we got to get you on our show to talk about country music, So
that's right.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is that what we discovered by making that change is that artists would send us all of their songs as opposed to just one or two, and we were really missing out on some really good music.
I like that approach because there's a lot of people from Texas and Alabama. We had a lot of people on the tour from Texas there, Corpus Christi area, the Melissa Ann and Rick Hofel, and then you get the Northern Floridas, you get the Alabamas, or the Harold Booths, what have you, and these are all
we love Harold.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, Harold has been here to the studio, and he's threatening to come back.
All right.
Oh boy. Well, hey,
I love Harold.
At least he gave you notice.
Yeah, get the mudslides ready. But
anyway, it's your term is probably more encompassing there than limiting it to just the tropical areas there. But it's a term that fits. But you're right. Most people, what does that mean? And I don't like to just say Jimmy Buffett because it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And anyway, but it's just happy, fun music about being down on the water and your toes in the sand, and that's maybe a better way to.
Yeah. Well, we like to, refer to it as it's escapism, and, you can go to Paradise is a state of mind, and it can be your place in Islamorada. It could also be up in Michigan in the summertime. So whatever Paradise is to you doesn't necessarily have to be about Key West. It could be Belize. It could be us down in Dominican Republic. So the radio station kind of takes you to that escapism one song at a time.
I like the way you put that.
It's true.
Yeah. So the music is out there. The songs are out there. What about the rest of y'all's music? Where can people go to find you guys' music and start following you?
Go ahead, Jenny.
Thank you, Roger. I'm on YouTube. It's Jenny, Jenny, Lee, Lea music, or you can do Jenny Lee Brown just like the color. I'm also on Facebook, and of course, pretty much everything that I've put out so far from my last album is, to include this one with Roger, is all found on like Spotify and Amazon and Apple Music, pretty much any of those platforms.
All right.
And pretty much the same for me. I'm fortunate enough to have my youngest daughter does all my videos for me, so I always put a video out, and it's perhaps more entertaining to go onto YouTube to find them. I got my own channel on YouTube. I think it is. And just look me up and you'll see the videos there. And, you were talking about with the convoy, right, going down to Key West. And if you don't do that, then you're going to miss Fred the Tree on the way down to Key West there. And I would encourage anybody, he's definitely a local Key celebrity as part of the song, but I've got a song out there about Fred the Tree, and I got a great video. And if you think about it, that's on the old 7 Mile Bridge. You can't stop and take pictures there. Yeah. And please don't take the pictures from the car. Some people
please don't.
When you're going 55 miles an hour.
That's why they have so many accidents. I mean, it's a very dangerous because people are like, look at that sunset. Let's take a picture. Right. I mean, it's a 2-lane highway for God's sake.
There was another one just yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a dangerous road. But anyway, we got drones these two brothers had to do drone photography there, and they walked as far as they could on the old section of the old 7 Mile Bridge and took videos of it. And then part of the song references the fact that they light them up at Christmas time there. So we waited until, just after Thanksgiving till they did that, and worked that into the video as well. But it's a cute song, and the video is very entertaining. So I'd encourage people to take a look at it there. And all my other songs are on YouTube as well, and the Spotify's and the rest too. So.
Well, cool.
Roger, I based one of my songs off of that song, right?
Did you really? I
did. I absolutely did. It's a wonderful song.
Well, thank you.
So do you guys have a name for you when y'all are playing together, or is it just your names, or is it the Crazy Gecko Band or something, or what is it?
Well, unfortunately, Jenny is now no longer in the Keys, and she's hours away from me, still in Florida. Yeah. But we miss her. And hopefully we'll have her back soon, but we haven't had the opportunity to perform together at any of the local venues there. But if we do, we're gonna have to come up with a good name, so maybe your listeners can start us out, give us some ideas. So,
something to think about.
Well, there you go.
Listen, we're doing a lineup for the 8th annual Tiki Man Radio Songwriters Showcase Key West Bound, and you guys, I think I sent you the contact information for Brian, and we'd love to get you guys down there sometime and be a part of that.
I would love to participate.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well, all right. Well, cool. We're going to let you guys fly, and we just want to thank you so much for joining us and everything you're doing to get out there and get the music out there and have some fun. That's what it's all about.
There you go. Danny, thank you so much.
Yes,
great job with Tiki Man Radio, and all the best to you and your listeners. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. It was awesome.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.